How do I talk about this without being super repetitive and getting off a soapbox? Because I don't want to talk about what we've talked about for the whole week. Go watch yesterday's if you feel like I've missed stuff. But we had AMD calls coming in today, made some great money, hold that position, made some more money, closed it. Tomorrow, I'll look to see if we can actually get an extension over basically over the double top that's formed right here. I will say it could definitely go higher without a doubt, but your RSI confirmation, it really isn't there on the longer time frames. On the shorter time frames, you've got a nice setup for a further continuation there. But I'd rather play it as a day trade than swing it more from here. It's not as obvious. It's still strong. Without a doubt, it's still strong, but it's not as obvious. So we took it after we broke this trend line. So yeah, that looks okay. And it's nice to have some upside plays like that when you're mostly short. So set up a pretty large Oklo short today. Took some partials around 36-40% on that position. I also set up a Nvidia short today, and I swung that. I'm keeping it kind of small because I kind of already have, in my opinion, a good amount of downside exposure before actual triggers. So this came and tested the trend line, bounced, but overall still looks really weak. Today was extremely weak, so I'm kind of feeling it out. I'll size up if I can get some confirmations. I'm pretty sure we bought it for November, so we got time to kind of let that play out. Careful buying anything longer dated than that. IV is pretty high, so if this gaps down, market gaps up substantially, you're going to get rug pull moves, premium, something to be aware of. But it looks good right now. Everything's pointing further down. You're just kind of waiting for these actual key level breaks. And speaking of which, like we broke the thesis today, the bearish thesis, my bearish thesis. The SPIX reclaiming the wedge here tells me to kind of back off, or at least just get down to individual names and not be not short on the market. And then the instant you gave up that reclaim of the bullish wedge, I got short again. We snapped some end of week puts, made 70%, got out, rolled then on a longer dated time frame because now the thesis is back alive. So bought some Novembers once again, and we'll try to ride those out and see if we can get a bigger break. It's the same story. VIX closed the day above 20 and markets near all-time highs. Weird, right? Doesn't make sense. Bulls very confident about it, and they could be right, but the risk reward for a short position here is too damn good. And honestly, everyone complaining about there being people who short markets, it's just low IQ. It's low IQ behavior. A healthy market always has bulls and bears. Okay, it always has buyers and sellers. That's what creates a market. If you don't have that, you just got a bubble. Like, you need that to have a healthy market. Complaining about it is so fucking stupid. So, like people are saying, Josh, don't you love Oklo? Well, of course I like Oklo. But then I tweet saying I'm short Oklo now, and everyone's like, I thought you said 10-year bull market. Yeah, there's waves in that bull market. And when the company that doesn't gonna have even anything built for another 5 years, you don't think within the next 5 years you're gonna get a better price for this? You don't think you can buy this cheaper than it is now for the next 5 years? It sucks to be stupid. I can't help you on that one, okay? Because to me, that's a fucking no-brainer. Same with like these quantum companies. People don't want to sell them. They don't want to take any profits. They're trying to time the high. I'm not even in gold anymore. I took profits on that. We made a lot of money. We over 2x'd on some of those positions. And I've been doing this long enough, man. I don't care if I don't get the top. I made some good money, and most people don't make money at all. Okay, most of these people are gonna ride this shit all the way back down, and good for them. But to me, it's better to say lock in those profits and then buy the dip later and then make more, and then not have that huge drawdowns in my account. And even being short, everyone's talking smack on the socials. I'm up. We're making money. So who gives? Who cares? We're both making money. We should both be happy. So, um, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. MSTR is the largest put position. Bitcoin still looks awful. MSTR gave the daily confirmation here that I want to see. So now from here, let's see if we can break 292. Break 292, and there's basically no support on this name. There's some minor support around like, looks like 268, but I mean, this thing's almost a straight shot to 239. That's your next major support, major key level to look for. And this thing just now gave the confirmation on the 2-day, because this thing was trying to recover on the 2-day. Now it's clearly bearish. Weekly's bearish. You're bearish across all time frames. You're creeping towards a major key level with Bitcoin having essentially zero bidders here. So I'm looking for some big breaks, probably before the end of this week. And if they don't, I'll probably have to take some positions, which is fine. We're up on Oakland really nicely. We're up on MSTR really nicely. We still have some calls that are up. We're still in some NNDM. That's still looking good. I did try to feel out a position in TLT, but when it sold off with SPY, I went ahead and cut it. You know, I don't like that. I want this to start behaving normally again. You know, the 60-40 portfolio construction is completely dead. So, until that relationship reestablishes, I'll be kind of iffy on getting back into TLT. For people who say bonds are going to be in like a 20-year bear market, if you're like buying a shit ton of equities and you believe that, you need to realize that you have massive cognitive dissonance, because those two things do not compute with one another. Okay. You can't have a broken bond market and a strong equity market. Keep that in mind. That shit don't work. So it could work for a little bit. Markets can float. That could seem to like levitate. And then something will happen. It'll break it. I just told Discord members today, like, all this tariff news, as we've been saying, doesn't matter. The issues are under the surface. What breaks it, people will blame. But just like politics, where people don't actually dig into policies, they don't dig into the substance. Markets is the same exact way. Everyone's superficial, operating with surface level knowledge, and then they'll blame a Trump tweet or they'll blame this or that, rather than digging into the real meat and the substance, So it is what it is. Some people are residents. This is what they do. This is their profession. This is what I do. This is my obsession. Even though I don't trade the full 8 hours a day, I still research and read pretty much fucking everything there is on the market. So I don't miss anything, because this is literally what my whole life is centered around. So probably not healthy. Probably should talk to a therapist about my obsessions. But when I stop making money, I guess I'll worry about it more. Until then, so that's all I got. We'll continue to wait for it to break. As to the risk reward's too good, so we're gonna keep trying it, and people can keep whining, or they can learn what a good setup looks like and what a good risk reward is. You got a shit ton of risk for upside positions here if you're doing anything other than like a scalp intraday. So be mindful of it, or get newts like most people will. If not now, it'll be later. Always is. Same story. I've been doing this a long time. You don't need to do it actually even very long. It's a credit boom and bust market. Has been for a while. So that's all I got, guys. God bless. See you in the morning. Plays look good. Hey, what we have, I'm really comfortable with what we have here. It looks good. So let's see what next 2 days bring. And I think we might get some breaks here in those next 2 days, honestly. So I'm not betting on it. I don't have end of week expirations, but that's the way it looks to me. So we'll see. Okay. Good night. God bless.